Yeah, I was thinking about a few things, and I was wondering. Here's two things. Okay, one, I know you see me wear different hats. Okay, the thing with that is no, I don't have uh, uh, sponsors or anything like that. I'm a hat guy, so you know, a good friend of mine bought me the GT500 hat and the sweater. Bill, you know who you are. I don't know if he watches my videos or not, but he's kind of old, so he might not be up on that kind of technology. He's an old guy. Aside from that, uh, I'm pretty brand specific, and then that would be my second question. Are you loyal to any one brand? Let's get into that. All right, I'm headed down to the dungeon again, and set myself up down here. Light on my desk. And get this garbage out of the way. I haven't been down here at my desk in a while, so forgive me. I got Hot Wheels all over the place. Because I went to a show, and when I went to that show, I bought some more cars. I don't know if you get into that kind of thing, but I found this one, Stars and Stripes GT500. And see, I'm all about the GT500s now. So if I can find them, I'll buy multiples. There's one. There's that GT500. And here's another one. GT500. But aside from, the Hot Wheels thing. Oh, they make a GTD too. So you can find them. GTD. Oh yeah. That's if you're into that, They make more than one color. If you can find them. There's a silver one. Go wheels. Anyway. So, let's get into this question. All right. My question is, are you loyal to one brand? Now, when I say that, this would mean you haven't bought any other car other than the car brand that you drive. Now, I can honestly say, me personally, the car I drive, I've been driving the same car for 20 years. The same style of car. So, the Mustang I drove for 20 years. Before that Mustang, I drove another Mustang. So, I can say, well, I've driven a Mustang for more than 20 years. The first one I got when my son Alex, was 4. It's an 89 State Trooper car. 5.0, 5-speed. Then after that one, I had a 4-cylinder car that I swapped all the State Trooper stuff out into after it got totaled. And I drove that for a couple of years. Motor washed out. I ended up with an 88 GT. After the 88 GT, which is now in the backyard as a parts car, I ended up with an 86 Coupe. I did nothing, but I was going to put a turbo motor in it. Ended up giving that one to Dylan Kaler. You know who you are, dude. He did whatever he did with it. I guess he sold it to a guy. He turned it into a race car. After that, I ended up with the 93, which is now Vanilla Ice. I bought that car for $2,500. Needed a steering rack. Bought that. Did some work on it. Decided I was gonna throw some parts at it and make it into something spectacular. The first couple of years, I lowered it, put some springs on it, wheels and tires. I didn't really do anything to the engine. I just kind of put new shocks and struts around it, made it handle really good, that kind of thing. Aside from that, 2006, Pop left me a little money. Had a buddy, had a 2000, no. He had a 1998 Cobra, and he said the motor slung a rod. So, bought the car from him, got the motor and transmission that was sitting on the garage floor, took that to a guy, said, hey, take it apart, let me know what the damage is. It was a wrap. Couldn't use none of that. Ended up building a whole motor, and the rest of it is history. So, fast forward to now, 2025, late 2025. Decided I was going to start a YouTube channel there, which my YouTube channel I think is 2 years old now. A couple years old now. When I started it, I was driving a tow truck. I don't drive a tow truck anymore. And so it was between working on the two projects I got out there, which would be the 65 Mustang, which I acquired later on after, I don't know. I was looking for a coupe. I was going to build a race car. I was going to build something that I could take to the strip. And so I was looking for another coupe. And I ran across the 65 coupe, which I'm not building into a race car. I like it just as a driver. So those plans changed. So I decided against building a race car, because we all know when you build a race car, you tend to waste more money. You break things and you spend more money fixing things that break, because racing is like the ragged edge of everything. You're going to break stuff, and it's just not going to go well. So, fast forward to 2026. I have 65 Mustang, 1993 Mustang. The 1998 that I had, I gave to Curtis. And so it's still in the family, so basically it's still mine. So that's a 93, a 98, 1965, and then 2015. Now, the 15 is a first year model. The 65, you could say, they would say, 64 and a half, but I don't do halves. Either it's a 64 or it's a 65. Granted, 65, I just call it the first year. 64 and a half, 65. It's a first gen car. 93 is the last generation of that car. So before they went to the SN95 body style, the 1993 was the last year of the Fox body style. So I run a gambit of different year models of the same car that I've driven for, you might as well say not 20 years, more like 30 years, because Al is 28. Yeah, I forget. He's 28. So yeah, I've driven a Mustang for almost 30 years. Any iteration you can think of, aside from the old one. And now I got a 2015 car, which is the first generation of that car, the first year of the retooling, re-this, re-that. Now, granted, the 5-liter motor in it is the second gen motor in it. So, yeah, that question I would pose to you. Now, granted, I know where my loyalties lie. I know where and it's not because it just happened to be that way. I've chosen to be a Ford guy. I've chosen to be a Mustang guy. It's just where I've been, and I choose to just stay there. Granted, I'm sure I could have bought a Trans Am or SS Camaro, and don't get me wrong, I went and looked at SS Camaro when I was looking for a car at that time when the SS Camaro was out, And I looked at the Trans Am. I liked it. It was a black on black WS6 car, 6-speed. I mean, it was nice. I can't take anything away from it because the car was just nasty. And I went and looked at the SS, and I liked the SS. My dad was a Chevy man, so yeah, my proclivities were with the General Motors products first. I hadn't even went and looked at a Mustang, I don't think. But I did go and look at the F-body twins because that's where my dad would get, and they were the Mustang. So after I went and looked at those two, I went and looked at a Mustang GT, and as far as ergonomic wise, I'm a big man. I mean, come on. I mean, you over 6 foot. Comfort is a thing. Height, roof height. I went and tried to get in the SS, and I hit my head on it. Now, granted, aside from being a T-top car, and it was, if the T-tops were out, I'd be fine. But riding in the car, I mean, and the seat didn't move up or down. It moved forward and backwards, but there was no up, down, and so that wasn't going to be a thing. Couldn't get in it comfortably. The Trans Am, yes, I could get in the Trans Am, but the price on the Trans Am, boy, they were proud of that WS6 car. And I mean, I wanted it. I did. Same thing with I went and looked at the Mustang. Now, granted, I looked at a GT, but I did also look at a Cobra. So I went and looked at the 1996, 97 cars, the Cobras, and the 98 Cobra. I went and looked at those cars, and I was like, yeah, SVT did appeal to me at the time, and the car was comfortable. I could get in it, had plenty of space in it, had a 5-speed in it. I had never driven any of the cars as far as all 3 of those iterations, so I didn't know how fast they were, like it mattered because you can only drive so fast. But just the sheer joy of knowing you have a car that's slightly fast would be something you would want. But my brand loyalty is with the Blue Oval. I'm not. Now, granted, some people are like, well, that could change if they came out with something from Dodge. I don't like Dodge cars. I don't like the way they look. Now, granted, I can't take anything away from the way the Challenger cars look. They're neat looking cars with the wide bodies. They got big tires on them. They growl pretty good. They got plenty of room in them. I guess if you were big, I mean, I've gotten in them just when I was towing, and they had plenty of room in them. If you're a big man or a big woman, if you're a big person, you can get in them fairly easy because the doors are big. I mean, the platform for that car it's built on a big car chassis. If you didn't know that, I mean, you got to know your enemy. Remember that. They used to tell us that back when muscle Mustangs and fast forward was a thing. Know your enemy. There was an issue. Know your enemy. There are cars out there that make 300 horsepower and they'll put it on you. I mean, you was driving a car that was 225 horsepower. You had Cadillac old lady cars that made more power than your car did. If that was a thing back then. Aside from that, I'm just not into the Dodge products. And then, you got this whole, how do I put this? They act like the choice of car is in the ethnicity, okay? I don't like them. I don't care if it made 10,000 horsepower. You would never see one in my driveway. And then you had these guys come on Instagram and talk about, only black guys buy Chargers and Challengers and this, that, and the other. And you know what? I see more white women driving them than anybody else. But also at the same time, the ethnicity thing, yeah, they I don't know if they push those cars toward that ethnic background, but they have chosen that car a lot. I would never choose that car. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like Dodge products. I've never had good luck with them, so no. I would never park it in my driveway. I wouldn't allow somebody to even park it in my driveway. So no, not my thing. So I've had plenty of Mustangs. I probably would, if I ever buy another Mustang, then yeah, that's what it would be. As far as Dodge products, no, and they're not consistent, and neither is General Motors. You want to, if you're into that, picking a brand that has consistency. One car has always been apparent, and I thought for a minute there, when General Motors was still making Camaros, that they were just gonna keep doing it. They were gonna, in a competition wise. I mean, even Dodge went, they've come up with cars that sold, and then they did a last call on them, and they decided they were just gonna discontinue everything, which was dumb, because people was buying those cars, whether they be one ethnicity or the other. I personally wouldn't be caught dead in any of those cars, and 700 horsepower or not. 4,400 pounds doesn't appeal to me. Now, granted, the new Mustang weighs pretty much about that. The Dark Horse, it's a fat horse now. It's more like a Clydesdale. Still runs. Still looks good lowered, and wheels and all that. It didn't really matter. Obviously, nobody cares about what it weighs. And even they've come out with this Dark Horse SC supercharged. It makes 780 horsepower. It makes more horsepower than the last GT500 did, but it's the same setup. Now, we'll talk about that another day, as far as the mimicking of another car and just giving it a different name. Now, let's be realistic. General Motors has done that for years. You take a Chevy Equinox and put a Cadillac badge on it, and you got the same car. Same underpinning, same motor, same all that, and it's a Cadillac, and you sell it for $10,000, $15,000 more. Well, same thing. But hey, who are we to argue? We're not the one producing the products. But aside from that, what's your brand loyalty? Now, you got some guys that are Honda loyal. Hey, Honda Civic SI, the performance model, the Honda Civic all day long. And it's not just a regular Civic. It's got to be the SI or the R model. And I've looked at those cars just in passing. I'm not interested in any kind of Honda products, but if I was that guy, it's a neat looking little car. It sits low. It's got decent rubber on it. Performance wise, it's peppy. Not peppy enough for me, but the last one that I test drove, I was impressed. But I'm a V8 guy, so it takes a lot to impress me. And that 4-cylinder just ain't doing it. That's just me. But aside from that, the platform is interesting. I guess if you want to do something to it, make it faster, that'd be great. The LS guys, which is, you can put an LS in anything. Now, granted, I thought the Chevy SS car they discontinued, that was a good car. That would be a car I would have bought if I was gonna go Chevrolet. The SS, 430 horsepower, LS3 in it. I mean, it sounded good. You had 4 doors. Not quite into the 4-door thing, but for a 4-door car, it was nice looking. Aside from that, I'd buy that before I buy a BMW. So if it was going to be a 4-door car and I had people to carry around other than myself, yeah, I probably would have went that way. But no. No BMWs. I'm not even into that. And you guys are into BMWs. I think that it's overrated. I think it's overpriced. I think for the amount of repairs that it throws at the owner, it's just not worth it. Yeah. And performance-wise, yeah, it's German, and Germans like to think they're better than us. Let's be realistic, though. It's easy to outdo them because while they're at the shop getting their car repaired, we're still driving around. It is what it is. As far as the Porsches go, I mean, come on, man. You know, I don't know anybody that owns one. I see them. They've sold quite a few, and apparently there's lots of people that got money that can afford one. As far as the performance of the Porsche, it's got history. I mean, you can't take that away from it. The car's been around for dang near 100 years, if not more. Same thing with Ferrari or any of the other cars that is an enthusiast based. Now, granted, you can't say you're a Ferrari enthusiast because one, you have to own at least one Ferrari to be able to buy one. So you either have to have had one, and still own it to be able to buy a new one. Yeah, you can't just go buy one. It doesn't work that way. If they did that with Mustangs, I'd be a shoe-in. I'm going to buy me a GT500. Have you had Mustangs in the past? I can line up all the Mustangs I've had. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a connoisseur. And see, that's what Ferrari does. You don't just buy a Ferrari. You're a Ferrari connoisseur, which means you're not a collector. See, you can collect anything, but to be a connoisseur of something, you appreciate it. You appreciate its little quirks. You appreciate its shape, the way it sounds. I guess I would be a Mustang connoisseur then, right? I guess if you were a Corvette guy and you had 60 model Corvettes, which I know of a guy who does have Corvettes. He's a Corvette guy. He has 66, 67, both of them convertibles, 327s, 4-speed cars. I'm pretty sure, and he's got money, so I'm pretty sure he owns a newer Z06, maybe a ZR1, maybe even a ZR1X. Dude's a millionaire, so I'm sure he's probably got 2 or 3 garages, and he's got at least one of those cars in there besides the older Corvettes. And his dad was a Corvette guy, so he just passed that down. My dad ain't a Mustang guy, or wasn't. He liked cars, and I'm sure if he had his choice, he would have more than one car, but when he did have more than one car, most of them were Chevrolets. He had a 65 Malibu Chevelle. He had a 65 Fleetside pickup, had a 305 in it with a high cam in it, and it was lowered and all that. So he chose to be a Chevy connoisseur, aside from the Firebird, which had a Chevy engine in it. If he'd had a Camaro, it would have been the same thing. So most of the older generation are brand loyal. They will buy one brand until they're dead, and they don't deviate. I know some guys who, you go to the drag strip, and those guys get the argument. They get into arguments over which one is better. Well, my brand's better than yours. I don't even know why you bought that junk. And then he's over there saying the same thing. But you throw money at any of them, and it's the same. Neither one is faster than the other. It's all about how much money you throw at it. You throw $50,000 at a Ford, and it's going to be fast. You throw $50,000 at a Chevrolet, it's going to be fast. You throw $50,000 at a Honda, it's probably going to be fast. I don't know, because I think that for somebody to make a 4-cylinder outdo a V8, you're going to have to spend more money because you have less to work with. That's my idea on it. Granted, boost equals a lot. I get that. But if you have more area for boost to go, hence boosting a V8, hence boosting a 4-cylinder, which one you think is going to make more power? You can throw $100,000 at a 4-cylinder. It's got limits. See, that's where the money stops. The limit ends with how far you can go with that. And you can spend $1 million on it. The limit is going to be the platform. Write that down. Aside from that, my brand loyalty is, and it probably won't ever change. I haven't changed my mind in almost 30 years, so I ain't gonna change my mind now. And granted, they got these Corvettes come out, and I'm just not into Corvettes. And I've told them. I've went and told them, went and picked them up, took them to the dealership. I picked them up off the side of the road. It's not built like I thought it was. And, I liked Corvettes when I was a kid. We went to the dealership because my dad was a Chevy guy. And, we went and I saw a 1981 Corvette. It was red, candy apple red. Kind of reminded me of the one in Corvette Summer, but this one was clean. It had none of that custom fiberglass work on it, but it was a nice car. $10,000 for a Corvette. At the time, I don't know if that was worth it or not. I'm a kid. But I liked it. It was red, had big wheels on it. It was a vet. I mean, that was a dream car. It was a Corvette. Yeah, I didn't think about Ferraris or Porsches. I like Corvettes. I like Camaros and Mustangs and Trans Ams and that kind of thing. I was into American muscle. So my dream cars all involved fast muscle cars. The dream car that I thought about was, I like to have a Corvette. That's how we grew up. They didn't push foreign cars on us. They didn't push Porsche or BMWs or Lamborghinis or any of that kind of stuff. And granted, you saw them, but it wasn't something you aspired to have. You just, if I ever make $1 million, I'm going to buy this. Right. If I ever had $1 million, I could tell you exactly what I have in my garage. In my garage would be a 1970 Boss 302, 69 Boss 428 car, 65 Shelby GT350, probably a GTD. I'd pull a GTD. Maybe one of these new SCs, Dark Horse SC cars. Of course, I'd have a 2020 GT500. Just maybe and a Bullet car. I'd have to have a Bullet. Have to have a Frank Bullet. You can't go wrong. You're not going to get away with any of those other cars without having the Frank Bullet car, the Bullet Mustang. And they had 3-4 iterations of that. So, yeah, I'm brand loyal. I can't see my way past that. Now I've heard some Corvettes that sounded nasty and some Camaros that had that chop going, and I like it. I like the way it sounds, but that doesn't mean I'm going to jump sides. I'm on this side. I'm on this side, and this is the side I'm on. This is, if I'm fighting a war, I'm fighting it on the blue oval side. I'm not jumping sides because something sounds good, or they say it makes 708 horsepower, or it makes 797. Here's a realization, okay? All these Dodge cars that these cats bought, and they said made all this power. I never see them. I never see them on the road. You know what? I can get up in the morning and I can hear somebody crank up a Mustang over there. I can hear them going down the road. Dodge products? Not so much. I see them around. And then there's a couple guys, if they're young, and they get a chance to get them, because they're kind of expensive. They get them a chance to get them a Challenger or even the base model Charger's got the little Hemi in it, or even the 392 or Scat Pack cars. They get them and they put exhaust on them and they're just all in them. They're not fast. I said what I said. They're not fast. Yeah, they just ain't. Sorry. Your cars ain't fast. And they don't make them anymore. I don't think they're bad looking. Like I said before, they're okay looking cars. As far as the Charger, the 4-door thing, I ain't into that. The Challenger, yeah, it's nostalgic looking, and yeah, they pulled it off pretty good, and then the wide body kit on it, and the fat wheels, and then you got the Hellcat and the jailbreak, and you got all these different versions of that one car, and they changed the looks on it and wheels, and it's neat looking. But it ain't fast. And if we're in a game of what's fast, I'm driving the faster car. I still am. Tell you a story and then I'm done. Had one of them Hellcat cars jump on me in the 98 car. 305 horsepower. Now, the difference between that car and his car is mine weighs 3,500 pounds. His car weighs 4,400 pounds. 700 and whatever. Don't know if it was a red eye. have just been a regular Hellcat, which makes what, 705, 710, something like that. Yeah, I put 3 cars on it. Just out of the hole, and he couldn't catch me. Now, granted, if we had went a little farther, yeah, he probably would have eventually reeled me in, but just from the jump, left him. So yeah, faster car. Yeah, if we're going 15 miles down the road, yeah, you're gonna catch me because it's gonna run out of top end. Now, granted, that car tops out at 145, 150 miles an hour, but where you gonna drive that around here? Where you gonna drive like that? You're not. Stoplight to stoplight. Stoplight to stoplight winner has always been Mustang. Now, I'm sure people would argue with you on that because you got people that drive Corvettes, people that drive Challengers, Chargers, this, that, and the other. But in the 80s, you couldn't touch the Mustang. Nothing could touch it. It was just fast. It just was. It's still fast. It's different fast now. But we're not talking about fast. We're talking about brand loyalty. So what are you loyal to? Are you loyal to the blue oval? Are you loyal to the bow tie? Are you loyal to the pin and star? Or are you loyal to the BMW? Or are you loyal to the Toyota symbol? Or even the Mitsubishi? Granted, you don't see too many of them cars anymore. And when the Fast and the Furious came out, those Mitsubishi Evos, all-wheel drive, 300 horses, with the capability of being tuned to 600, more turbos and all that, those cars were quick. Could take them away from them. People were quite loyal to those. And you got guys that are JDM loyal. We'll just put all of them in a box. JDM loyal. Japanese cars. I'm not into Japanese cars. I think they're cool looking, some of them. The Supras, the NSXs, the Mitsubishi Eclipses when they were out. They were neat looking cars. I'm not into that, but I can recognize, hey, that's a neat looking little car. Looks fast, it's lowered, it's got fat wheels on it, body kit fits, and it's neat looking. I'm not into that though. I can't. I was raised up on muscle cars, and I just chose a muscle car brand, and it was Ford. That's the way I went. I'm 53 years old. That's the way I'm gonna roll until they put me in a box. And even then, it'd probably be a Ford emblem on the casket. If my wife would ever do that. But, aside from that, this discussion was about brand loyalty. Where's your loyalty lied? I know where mine is. I thought about that. What are you loyal to? And when I say loyal to, I mean, when you get into, your little melees with, that's what they circle the problem, it's the blue. Oh, okay. So you got to be ready with your snappy retorts when they start throwing the dozens at your brand. You got to be ready, especially the Chevy guys because they got all kinds. The Dodge guys, not so much. I don't know if they just don't get involved and they just don't say nothing. But it's always between the Ford and the Chevy guys. The Dodge guys, they don't even involve them in it. I don't know why. And back in the 60s, Dodge was something. I mean, their cars were ugly, but they had Hemis in them, and they made lots of power, and some of them were really quick at the drag strip. So, but after that, it seems like everything they just fell off the map. But if you're loyal to Dodge, I mean, not so much now. They're making crap cars. They came back with a V6. Hurricane motor. Come on, man. Give them dudes a fighting chance. Give them a V8. Put that Hemi back in the car, man. At least give them something. Something that's got some sound. That V6, that is not it. It just ain't. We'll just cut it off right there. Give those dudes back their engine. How about that? Give them a fighting chance. Come on, man. Give them something to be proud of again. That Hurricane motor, it's great in the truck. I drove one. It's quiet. It's powerful. It does what it's supposed to, but it doesn't make any sounds. You heard crickets, dude. Crickets. Crickets. Now, brand loyalty. Where's yours at? I know where mine's at. You know where mine's at. I'm not sure about everybody else. I know you got some guys and they're like, well, you know what? I ain't got one. I got a Trans Am. I got a Mustang. I got a BMW. I got a Mercedes. Hey, you know, you can afford all them different brands and all them different repair bills. More power to you, brother. I personally like a car I can work on myself, and I can go to the parts store and buy parts and put them on myself. So it ain't just brand loyalty because it's easy to work on. It's brand loyalty because that's what I like. Sound, availability, easy to work on. And it's American. I'm an American. I prefer an American car. And granted, we can argue about that all day long. We can say, oh, well, you know what? The parts is made in Mexico. And it's like, yeah, but initially it's an American product. If it was created in America and it's been in America the whole time, which Ford has, just like Chevrolet or Dodge or Chrysler or Pontiac or any other Oldsmobile, you know, these were all brands that have been around for 100 years. They're American. I like American cars. So I chose an American brand. So I'm repping America. Red, white, and blue. All day long. Stars and stripes. You know. Stars and stripes. And with that, that's the end of this discussion. If you have some comments you want to leave at the end of this video, then do so. That's what the comment section is for. You ain't got to like what I like. If you have a brand loyalty to something else, hey, that's great. Tell us what it is. If you're loyal to BMW, you're loyal to Pontiac, you're loyal to Porsche. I don't know anybody that owns one, but I mean, Porsche's kind of like Ferrari. You own one, you got multiple Porsches. If you're that guy, yeah, guys loyal to Volkswagen. Nothing wrong with that. They're loyal to German cars. I like Volkswagen. I don't own any. But they're cool. But like I said, you want to leave some comments or talk about what you got, go to the community page, hit that page, man. Throw some pictures up, some videos. Make this happen. We're all in this together as enthusiasts. Car enthusiasts. All right. So that's the end of this discussion. If you got any ideas on any other discussions you want to have, we can talk about it. We can talk about it right here. Everybody else does. Why we can't talk about it either? I'll get into it and banter with anybody. Granted, I can talk about what I got intelligently, as opposed to what everybody else got. I can't do that because I know what I've worked on and I know what I've seen. As far as what they go, you know, I do work in a repair shop, so I see a lot. So, but you come correct when you start talking about what you own and it's this and it's that, because trust me, I know. Once again, it's good talking to you. Hit that channel, hit the like button. Go to the community. Post some videos, post some pictures. Get yourself involved. And we'll catch you on the next one. We'll come up with something else to have an argument about. You know, tasteful argument. We're car guys, that's what we do. Later.